Hi, all, and welcome to Curriculum Night. I am Melissa Gaffney. I am your child's language arts teacher this year. We're very excited to get this year going. Just a little bit about me. This is my 12th year teaching here at Islander Middle School. The entire time I've taught sixth grade language arts and social studies and creative writing. I have my bachelor's in political science and history from the University of Oregon, go Ducks, and I have my master's in teaching from Seattle University, go Redhawks. In my spare time, I have two very busy children. They are 13 and 10, so I never quite escape the tween years, um, both at work and at home. And I follow all of their athletic pursuits on the weekends. That is what I spend my time doing. All right, so just making sure that students, especially at this point in the year, have everything they need. Sixth grade is a big focus on organization. So you may see me hammer this point home a lot during this presentation, but making sure that students have a way to keep track of all of their notes. I told them whatever works for them. I prefer one binder for every subject or some sort of organization system for, one full binder, so they can have dividers for every subject in there. I think it's just nice to have everything all in one place and just organize that way. But depending on what teachers need in other classes, maybe they have a special binder or notebook for math or science. But whatever works for them. Obviously, they need pencils, even though we do a lot of digital things. They will use a pencil almost every single day in my class. They need a specific notebook for language arts. We will take notes in language arts, and I would not like it to get mixed up with any other notes for other subjects. So if you can please have a notebook for language arts, a paper planner. This is important. Studies show over and over that people who use pencil and paper are better organized because it helps better commit things to memory when you use handwriting versus digital. I really want students to have a paper planner. If you need help getting one of these, please reach out to me and let me know, but that is an expectation for all students. Wired headphones with our new Yonder pouches and things like Bluetooth connected earbuds. Students need to still have access to audio files, so please make sure they have wired headphones. Also, an independent reading book and a charged iPad. This is super important because a lot of things that we do in class, they do need their iPad. Some resources that we use in class, some of them you may already be familiar with. We use Schoology. That is where I post all assignments, and that's where you can look at a calendar and see anything that's coming up. We use Libby, which is connected to the King County Library, so students can check out digital or audiobooks. And then iReady, we use, you may have already heard a little bit about the diagnostic, and then every week students get about 30 minutes or so of independent practice, trying to fill any gaps that the diagnostic may have identified. I want to talk a little bit about how we're going to be writing in sixth grade this year. We will do all modes of writing: narrative, expository, and persuasive. We'd like to do a little bit of mixing up pieces, so some shorter pieces here and there, probably every couple of weeks or so, mixed in with longer essays. They do an essay when we read The Giver later on in the second trimester. They'll do a literary analysis. And then something that I am trying new this year is doing some more daily grammar practice to get at some of those discrete grammar skills that we don't often have enough time to cover explicitly in our curriculum. So they'll be working on things like spelling, conjunctions, punctuation every day in little doses. So excited about that. Reading, a huge piece of our language arts curriculum is also reading. Starting very soon, we're going to be reading short stories. Later in the year, we'll be reading whole class novels, which include The Giver by Lois Lowry, and then the autobiographical graphic memoir, March, Volume 1 by John Lewis. Later in the third trimester, students will be able to choose a book of their own and then form little lit circles to discuss different things on the topic of refugeeism. We focus on reading comprehension, but then We also try to get a little bit more into analysis in 6th grade. They're ready. Their brains are ready to go a little bit deeper with those hidden meanings in texts. And then something that's a huge part of my classroom is regular independent reading. And I will do my best to conference with kids on a regular basis to check in about what they're reading, making sure they're understanding it, making sure they're on track to meet their independent reading goals. So if you could encourage that at home, that would be great. Speaking of independent reading, I did want to share with you our bingo board and our reading log. So, independent reading is graded. They get 1 grade at the end of the trimester, whether or not they were able to read 3 books of 3 different subgenres. So to help them reach that goal, there's a bingo board that I've created that kind of allows them to pick a path, and then it'll kind of suggest what genre they should read next, depending on the bingo path they want. This is not requirement as the grade. It's just a fun way for kids to be exposed to new genres. So there's the bingo board and the reading log, which they will turn in for a grade to make sure they have 3 books of 3 different subgenres by the end of the trimester. Always wanting to end with how you can support at home. Again, as I've mentioned, a big thing with 6th grade is organization. It's a huge jump from elementary to middle school. So helping your student find a way for them to make sure that they've charged their iPad, make sure that they clean out their binder, go through their backpack with them, make sure they have supplies. Just kind of some of them haven't really developed those metacognitive skills yet to be thinking about what they need. So the more that you can help them, not do it for them, that way is going to set them up for success for years to come. Also encourage reading for joy. This is something that's huge. This is ultimately my biggest goal as a teacher, is to keep kids reading for fun. So any way that you can do that at home, modeling it yourself, listening to audiobooks in the car on your way to practice, reading a book together as a family, any way that you can encourage reading for joy is something that you can do at home. Making sure they establish good academic habits, looking ahead at the week. Do you have a test coming up? Do you have a quiz coming up? Do you have a project coming up? How are we going to chunk that out to prepare? And then, of course, just being their biggest cheerleader. Middle school can be really challenging, and just having a friendly face at home is always the best thing that you can do. So that is going to do it for Curriculum Night for Language Arts. Here's my contact information. Feel free to reach out to me, and I look forward to having your student this year. Take care.